I'm Bernina expert Amanda Murphy, and in this video I'll show you how to quilt the fourth diamond from our Diamonds Quilt Along. You can find PDF instructions on Bernina's blog, weallsew.com. Each of the diamonds features a different design within a similar framework, so there's a separate video that you can access on We All Sew that shows you how to quilt the framework. I did that with my every angle ruler. Mark the center of that central diamond and also mark the midpoint of all of its sides. This is the design we'll be quilting, so I've used a circle ruler to help me quilt the curves in the center of the diamond, and then I've quilted simple loops all the way around the channel. So let's get started. To begin my center motif, I connect the corners of the diamond with its midpoint. So I quilt to a corner, and then I quilt to the midpoint of the next side. I'm using my 4-inch every circle ruler here. I have one more section to go, but I'm actually going to swing off in a different direction and do that central motif. So I quilt to the center. And I'm disregarding the lines on the ruler at this point. I'm only using the curves. Quilt to the opposite side and quilt back to center. Then I'm going to take the path of least resistance, quilt to the next midpoint. Remember, if your ruler moves, just stop and adjust it. No hurry. Even though this ruler is a little smaller than some of the others we've used, it does not mean that I shouldn't have both hands on the ruler. In fact, the smaller the ruler, the more important I really get control of that fabric, and that involves having both hands on the ruler and both hands on the fabric when you're working on a sit-down machine, whether it's a domestic or a long arm. So now it's time to change my foot to do the stippling. I'm changing to my very favorite number 73 foot. I wouldn't use this for ruler work, of course, but it is excellent for free motion, and I have such great visibility with this foot. In addition, I can use that gold dial to raise or lower it to the base of the fabric. It has a matte finish, so there's no reflection. And you can see here I'm really taking advantage of that with this stippling. When I'm stippling, I'm going to use a shorter stitch length than when I'm doing that long curved ruler work. So here I want the stipples to appear to be curved, and if my stitch length is too long, it will look like they have corners. If you have not gotten the chance to free motion on a Q series, in the BSR modes, but also particularly in manual mode, you are missing out. It is the smoothest machine. I just love doing free motion on my Q series machines. So next, it's time to quilt loops in the channel. So I start with the central loop that's angled into the corner, and then I start down the channel. And the challenge with loops really is to keep them upright. Because we've written for so long, we really want to slant them, but they look better and more consistent if you can keep them upright. A lot of people like loops because it's so much like handwriting, and you can do so many variations. For instance, I could do a lowercase e, lowercase l, lowercase e, lowercase l, and alter the height of each loop. You could do loops spaced far apart. You can do loops spaced close together. There's just so many options. So as I approach the corner, I really have to think about what's going to fit, and I'm going to try to make a design that is symmetrical. So I'm going to make the loop right in the corner, and then basically I try to create a mirror image of what I did on the first side as I come out and do the second side. I'm not always successful, but that's kind of what I aim for. Right there, you can tell I was totally off. But don't worry about that type of thing, because when you look at this from afar, what you're really going to see is the texture and how it contrasts with that straight line quilting and the geometric quilting that we produced with the rulers. So let me show you one more corner here. I'm approaching the corner, and I'm aiming to get a loop right into that corner. And then as I come out of it, I'm trying to get a mirror image of the design on the other side. So that was a little more successful. But when you stand back from the quilt block, you're really not going to note that one is different from the other. You're just going to see a beautiful texture. And when you finish your design, you'll have a beautiful block that you can be proud of. And that is Diamond 4 from the Diamonds Quilt Along. Join us on We All Sew to learn how to quilt the other diamonds, and next month we'll feature some bonus projects you can make with the leftover fabric from this quilt top. Hope to see you there.